all this. There's more to what you're doing. Like, a lot of people, they go after certain things. Like, I want to be rich, I want to be famous. But it says in the Bible, what good would it be for a man to gain the whole world, get forfeit his soul? All that means nothing. What matters most is your relationship with God, and how if you fall down, says a righteous man gets up 7 times, fall 7 times, gets up 7 times, I'm paraphrasing. So so every time you fall, get up, and don't focus on these physical things. Yes, it's nice to have all these things, but with your main focus should be your relationship with God. So that's basically what that song was about.
And is this the first song that y'all wrote? Because at the end you say hope kills fear. Is this the first song that y'all wrote together?
No, that was actually the third song that we wrote together, and it just seemed like I need something. I go, this sounds cool. Hope kills fear, hope kills fear. So the song called for it. When we do shows live, it's going to make for a great chant, for the crowd to sing along with. So I think it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, Hammerheads, let's take another break. Give you another taste of Hope Kills Fear with Save Me.
In the coldest place, nowhere to breathe. I'll sing this song so you can see my life in melody. Please find a way to release me from inflicted wounds. I can't sleep, in need of grace. How I'd love to feel your presence soon.
Save Me might be the best song that we have. I wrote it for my own personal struggles, but it speaks to people as well. Pretty much in the song, without Christ, without Jesus, with that, I'll fall back into my shameful ways. I need Christ to save me because I can't do anything without him. That's basically what the song is about. It's a real honest and humble portrayal, I think, what any struggling Christian goes through. Sometimes, we go to struggle. Sometimes we think that we could do it ourselves because of our ego. You know what I mean? But then you're humbled and you realize that you can't do it yourself. I'm going to say something right now that not too many people know about, but last year I was diagnosed with a hereditary eye disease that says that I'm going to be vision impaired. And when the doctor first told me that, he told me that there was no cure. And so it's but the first word word out of my mouth was, wow, thank God I'm Christian, because I felt the fear coming in, and I'm like, all right, let me chill out. I'm like, thank God I believe in a God who heals. And even if I don't get healed, I know that there's something, I'm going to get strength from this, and it hurts. You know, sometimes I cry about it, and, you know, I ask for people to pray for me, but I pray that God's will be done. Of course, I want to be healed, but if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But I know Christ could die on a cross and pay the ultimate sacrifice. Then me going through difficulties with my sight is nothing in comparison to that. So I kind of try to look at it from Christ's perspective. Whenever I pray, I ask for the Father to show me the world through Jesus' eyes, so I can walk in his footsteps. You look at Job and what Job went through, and even all that he went through, I still have to say, God, like, you know, I'm not enjoying this, but I have to put my faith and my trust in your will for my life. And sometimes people are realizing, like, all the things that we go through, all the hard things, if it wasn't for those hard things, we wouldn't be who we are right now. So a lot of people, when they get on their knees, they pray for strength. Sometimes they don't realize that praying for strength means that you're going to go through some severe hardship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I have nowhere else to go except for Christ, except for God. So it's like, wow, okay, so what that does is like, all right, I have nothing I can do in my own power. So, but it strengthens you because you're like, wow, okay, this is the only place I can go. No man, no doctor can fix this, or no man, no doctor can pull me out of this, or anything that would go. And so that's what's the amazing part about suffering. There is a beauty in suffering. You know, I don't want to suffer, but, you know, as human beings, we know that we're going to go through that on this planet. It's inevitable. If the Lamb of God went through it, of course we're going to go through it, especially as believers. So whenever we're going through something, I'm like, all right, God, why am I going through this? Am I going through this because then I committed something that I did? Or am I going through this because you're trying to pull me out of something and you need to prepare me for something greater? So to me, I look at it and I'm like, all right, am I going through this ordeal with my eyes because of the things I said when I was a Satanist? Or am I going through this because now you got me prepared for hope kills fear, and in order for me to do that, I have to get stronger. And in order for me to get stronger, I have to go through this. So the only thing I can say is, like, I just have to trust him and pray that his will for my life comes into full fruition.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know? And thank you for sharing, because to me, this song is "Save Me" is just a hardcore yet poetic prayer, and it's something that, as a hammerhead, sometimes you go to church and say, well, I don't want to pray the prayers they're praying. I think that this is something that you could sit there, and everybody goes through the struggles that you're talking about. You're not alone. And there's really some strength to listen to the song and singing it. Like I said, this is one of the bands where when I hear your stuff, man, I get motivated. I'm like, yeah, it's possible to overcome anything, and I just appreciate that. You mentioned something about strength, and during the last break, I was asking about your last name, Coma, and I just wanted to know if you got that from a Guns N' Roses song. So can you share with us a little more? There was a story behind that, and so could you just share with us a little more about how, you got the name Carly Coma?
Well, Carly's my birth name, which means strength in Latin. It's a female's name. I'll take that over my mother. I take it over her every day, actually. But it works. And Coma was something that I came up with when I was 18. I just needed a really cool last name. But over the years, about 2 years ago, I found out that through Google, of course, Google the name. I found out that Coma was the name of the constellation that the wise men followed to get to Jesus. So my name, Colin Coma, means strength that leads to Jesus. So basically, to me, that's what I get from it, and I think that's pretty cool, and I think it's fitting for what I'm doing, for what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Carly, after 3 songs, I know that Hammerheads will be writing to find out where to get these songs. I didn't see you guys on iTunes, so where can the Hammerheads get your music?
As of now, the only place where you can hear our songs is on MySpace, which is myspace.com/HopeKillsFear NYC. We're going to be putting some songs up on iTunes within the next month or so. Just keep looking out for that. We're going to send out MySpace bulletins. People will know when that happens. Yeah, so It should be pretty cool.
Absolutely,
well,
man.
Then there you go, Hammerheads. What you need to do right now is you need to get on MySpace, request Hope Kills Fear as a friend, so right when it's available on iTunes, then they'll be sending out bulletins and you'll know. Okay, Will to Live. What if I told you if there's a way to leave your fears behind, to see through all the darkness that's been holding you aside, the curse will lift away when standing on your faith. Walk on with me, on water with me. How many times have you lost your way? How many times have you lost your will to live? Don't let this broken world lead you astray. Believe in me. Rise up. Your hope ascends. When you hit, how many times have you lost your way? Everybody goes through that. You strive to climb up a funnel, if you'd want to say, and then you spiral down a little bit and you fight your way back up again. That just really drew me into the song. Can you share a little bit about Will to Live with us?
Well, basically, that song was written from the perspective of Jesus, and it's like Jesus singing to you, and I want to do it from that angle. And there's so many of us who are especially if you're a new Christian, some of us as new Christians will do good for a while because inspired, we think it feels great, but then what starts to happen is then the spiritual attacks come, and depending on how strong you are with your word, you might get caught up in the world again, which has happened to me a few times. And that's why that line, of don't let this broken world lead you astray, because the enticements of the world all looks good, but sin is only pleasurable for a season. And that's what we have to keep in mind. So that's just, to me, it's just Jesus telling you, stay the course, basically. And that's a song, actually, that when we played it live, right before the last chorus, third chorus, when it breaks down into that clean guitar, that's when I started crying on stage, because once again, like I said, I wrote it as if Jesus was writing it. And so when I was singing the song, I didn't feel like I was singing it. I felt like it was being sung to me. And I just broke down like a baby. So that song has a lot of meaning, to me. But what we've been getting emails from our fans, it's been really touching them as well. Just really positive and just reminding them who they are as Christians.
Here is Will to Live by Hope Kills Fear.
What if I told you there's a way to leave your fears behind, to see through all the darkness that's been holding you inside? The curse will lift away when standing on the faith. Walk on with me, on water with me. How many times you lost your way? How many times you lost your will to live? Don't let this broken world lead you astray. Believe in me, rise up, your hope ascend. Ascend. Do you feel like you're alone in a world that cuts you down? They tried to steal your hope, your will, then push you to the ground. Don't turn away, the sun will find you yet. So let the pain go, just let it all go. How many times you lost your way? How many times you lost your will to live? Don't let this broken world lead you astray. Believe in me, rise up, your hope ascend.
Okay, so now is the time on Amble the Hammer that you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. To the Hammerheads, Hope Kills Fear fans, And Candiria fans that are listening, we won't mix it up and make you say, hey, I didn't say that. No. You say exactly.
No backward masking.
No spinning. Yeah, no backward masking. This is the no spin zone. Go
The
for
no
it.
spin zone. You guys watch Fox like that. Basically, to the Candiria fans out there, we just, even if you don't like the message, we basically just want you to just give the songs like a listen and just respect the honesty and just really take your time out to listen to the songs and don't just walk away from it just because you might not agree with the message. To the Hope Kills Fear fans, thank you for the support, and if you guys have any suggestions, definitely email us on MySpace, I guess, to tell us what's a type of song that you'd want to hear. So let's say there's a fan out there who's going through something and they send us like a story, I'll read it myself and I'll turn that into a song. So I don't want to just sing from my own experiences. I want to sing from your experiences as well. So you guys can have a stake in this band. You guys could be part of the inspiration as well and just inspire the stories that come out of this. There might be a fan from Wichita, Kansas who's going through something and they send us a story and I turn it into a song. And the fans say, that's about me. That inspired that song. That's got to feel very great to someone because what I might be blessed in, someone else might not be blessed in. So I might not understand a certain scenarios because I've never had lack in that area in my life, but someone might come with lack in the area of that life and tell me that story and I'll think about it. So definitely just keep supporting us, and all the Hammerhead fans, definitely keep listening to these guys. They're awesome. and also when you get a chance, just check out our page, on MySpace. Let us know how you feel, and just, if you can, just show us some support and spread the word and spread the message.
Absolutely. Yeah. We call that do not remain silent. And we ask them to do every episode.
That's our motto.
It's our motto.
And you just heard it yourselves. If you think that, oh man, I could never write a song, but you could write a story, well, there you go. Just send it to Carly and he'll make one up for you.
And I think something that I liked, Carly, you talked about the fan interactions, and there's a lot of people, we've had a lot of artists on, and they'll tell us their story, and then we'll get an email a week or two later, and somebody's going to say, hey, I felt the exact same way that person did. So if they send you a story about their life, odds are somebody else is going through the same thing that they were. So that's just, I love that philosophy, man. I love it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Well, we heard that Hope Kills Fear is back in the studio. Can you tell the Hammerheads what we can expect off of the new tracks?
We're working on 3 new songs, and right now we have the skeleton of every song. The lyrical content, of course, is first. The message is going to be very, very strong. We have one song called The Cure. As of now, it's called The Cure, and it's basically like a storyline, which is great, and I think the story is very, very good. I don't want to release anything just yet in terms of what the story's about, but the first verse is about one story, second verse is about another story, and in the bridge it comes together. And so definitely look out for that song. We have another song, as of now it's called Breathe, which is coming out. Very, very cool. Very, very good. I can only say so much about it, so I'm going to use words like cool, nice, you know what I mean?
Sweet,
it's coming out very cool, very nice, stay the course, you know what I mean? It's coming out very good. Another song called More Than Anything, real deep love song, song about love and sacrifice. So hopefully we should have everything up on iTunes within a month or so. Yeah, and that's it, man. Definitely look out for catchy melodies with a strong message. That's pretty much at least my core belief. It has to be. It's easier for a message to be taken in when it's catchy. I mean, it makes you. Even if you're not a believer, you're gonna sing it along. But how I look at it is this. When you're singing along, a seed's being planted, and you might not be a believer while you're singing the song. But I pray that a year, a couple months from now, while you listen to the track and the chorus is stuck in your head, that it sparks an interest. And that you move to open the word and to see, okay, why is this band so adamant about their message? And I pray that every song that's out there, that if you're a believer, that it strengthens you, and if you're not a believer, that it sparks an interest for you to at least want to read the word and find out more about the message, about the gospel.
Yeah. I know you don't have a crystal ball in front of you. What do you see? What is your plans for the future? with Hope Kills Fear?
Well, basically, first I want to start off with, basically playing shows.